One of my favorite things about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is some of the shots we got. In the very first episode of the show, we see him use his wings as if they were a shield, as if they were the shield. His dynamic between John Walker, one is an anti-hero, one is a hero, but that doesn't make them necessarily enemies. Neither of them are perfect. Both of them have flaws. I think both of their differences actually complements and highlights each other's strengths, especially since they've both been in similar positions. I love that John is more brutal and violent while Sam is more gentle and empathetic. I really see Sam and John as polar opposites, yin and yang, because they both bring different angles to the shield, to that legacy. I love in episode 6, it gives us a scene where Sam uses his wings and the shield to create a bigger shield to protect them from the crashing helicopter. Or even just the way both of them use the shield. They both use the shield differently. After a decade, there's only so many ways you can throw that shield. John uses the shield as a blade to cut down and eliminate, and while Sam uses the shield more as a shell to stand tall and hold the line. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a great adaptation to Steve's choice to give Sam the mantle and for Bucky. We get to see Bucky in therapy rediscovering his humanity after being a living weapon for Hydra for so many years. After all that brainwashing, after all those missions, after all those assassinations, he's getting to live and actually be a human. The show really allows these two to step out of Steve's shadows and further expand on their own identities. And it shows the clear differences between Sam and Steve despite having so many similarities. And then you fast forward, he learns about Isaiah Bradley, which makes it even worse, which makes him way more on those self-doubts. Can he really carry those stars and stripes? Steve chose Sam because he's Sam. Even if Sam was a 2.0 of Steve, I wouldn't have chose him. For this modern era, this post-blip era, they needed Sam Wilson. Especially when people feel lost, Steve Rogers became a counselor during Endgame for a reason. You're not only counseling people, but you're helping people through their pain. You're helping people find their way. And even though they have lost their way, they're still worth saving. The show gives us more of Sam Wilson. He's a family man. He has family in Louisiana. I'm glad that they show his everyday struggles as a black man, that even though that he was a veteran and an Avenger, he's still not free from the racial prejudice and racial profiling. One side you have Bucky edging him on to take the shield. The other side you have Isaiah Bradley telling him to not take the shield. They'll never accept you. It really highlights his journey from doubting himself to accepting the mantle and creates this internal conflict with Sam. Nobody can measure up to Steve Rogers' legacy because nobody else is Steve Rogers. The reason why Sam was given the shield by Steve is because Sam is Sam. He gave him that shield to redefine it, what it means in a new era, to become his own Captain America, not to continue his legacy and copy it, because Steve Rogers' legacy isn't the only one with the stars and stripes, also Isaiah Bradley's legacy. Sam redefines what that shield means while also walking along the footsteps of Steve Rogers and Isaiah Bradley. When Bucky reassures Sam, he tells him he gave you that shield not because you're the strongest, because you're you. Being a super soldier doesn't equal Captain America, as we've seen with the Flag Smashers or even with John Walker. You can have all the muscle and all the power, but you need the heart. The heart is the most important thing. And Sam has all of that. His empathy, his heart is his superpower. I love the fact that Sam has to work 10 times harder as a human compared to a super soldier throwing that shield around and being the symbol of hope. And Bucky is the perfect piece for that Thunderbolts team. He knows what it's like to be a living weapon, to have your life stolen from you, to have your mind tampered with, to have your pain weaponized. Because that's literally what Val did to the Thunderbolts team. Is what she did to Yelena, is what she did to Bob, is what she did to John Walker and Ghost. Scott Summers and Sam Wilson will be able to wield Mjolnir. Whoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the powers of Thor. Sam Wilson and Scott Summers both have the heart, the courage, and the duty and responsibility to wield Mjolnir. And those are core elements of many wielders of Mjolnir. Sam Wilson has the heart. He literally was a hero rescueman to save the lives of others, and then retired to become a counselor to other people to help them through their pain. Not only is he a man of honor, he is a symbol of hope. His courage is unquestionable. He has stood with Steve Rogers and many others side by side for many years as an Avenger, taking down Hydra's infiltration, fighting against the Accords because it was the right thing to do, fighting in Infinity War and Endgame against aliens. And fast forward through Falcon and the Winter Soldier, knowing he's not a super soldier, he had no problem fighting against rogue super soldiers. And you fast forward in Brave New World, he's banging out with the whole Red Hulk. Despite him nearly dying, his whole entire arc in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was accepting the mantle. Despite having self-doubts, he took on the mantle and took back that shield because he felt it was the right thing to do. Scott Summers, he has made some questionable decisions, but his heart has always been in the right place, which is to protect and ensure the survival of mutant kind. And Scott Summers, without hesitation, has fought against gods, aliens, celestials, eternals, and even the Avengers to protect mutants. He is the living definition of having a sense of responsibility. His whole life has been dedicated for the survival of mutant kind. Scott Summers is becoming one of my favorites. His whole life has been dedicated to the protection and the right to exist of mutants. He is their leader, and as their leader, he is the face of that struggle. He doesn't have the luxury of believing the government will fully support them. Cyclops against Senator Kelly and all the people who are in on the program of the Sentinels trying to make the mutants go extinct. Some people have to say Cyclops is the mutants version of Captain America, and I say yes and no, because even though he is a strategic idealist similar to Steve, but there are some clear differences. Steve Rogers' belief in people and belief in the government that they'll do the right thing has many times conflicted with Cyclops, as this is the same government who has imposed their own wills out of fear of the existence of mutants, which resulted in the Days of Future Past creating the Sentinels, killing all the mutants. You can even put Cyclops under the Dr. Erskine quote, not a perfect soldier but a good man, and you can even alter it. You could say not a perfect human but a good mutant, or you can even say not a perfect soldier but a good mutant. You can put Cyclops under that banner. Hot take, I think Cyclops could will Mjolnir. I think he would be worthy. He has a very strong will. Sometimes his methods are very cold and calculated, but he's willing to do what others aren't for the sake of the mission, for the sake of mutant kind. He's not a carbon copy of Professor X or Magneto. He's similar to both of them. He believes in Xavier's dreams, but he knows that it won't come easy and has no problem using more cruel and aggressive tactics similar to Magneto to get it and ensure the survival of mutant kind. He is in the field as a commander. He doesn't have the luxury and comfort like Professor X does at the mansion. He's the one putting the actions to work, not dreaming about those said actions like Charles. But he's also not like Magneto either. Magneto wants mutant supremacy. He doesn't trust, nor does he believe in humans. He gave up his hope on humans a long time ago, and he wants the humans to be separated from the mutants. Cyclops does not want that. He also believes in Charles' dream of humans and mutant coexistence, but he's not a pacifist like Charles. Cyclops will even kill to protect and ensure the survival of mutant kind, something Charles will not do, which is a line he will never cross. Scott Summers is willing to cross lines Xavier won't cross, but he's also not willing to cross some lines Magneto will cross, which is mutant superiority, the extinction of humans. Unlike Magneto, Cyclops doesn't want obedience from his teammates, from his soldiers, from his brothers and sisters of arms. He is a commander. He believes and trusts in his team to make the right decisions and trust him to lead them. Magneto really reminds me of Conquest from Invincible, while Cyclops reminds me of Mark. Scott Summers and Mark both have put their own relationships and personal life to the side for the sake of protecting human and mutant kind. They have both been through immense trauma. They both start off as these Boy Scout heroes, but as time goes on, they realize that they are going to have to make some very tough decisions and even kill to protect what they want. And I put Magneto with Conquest because both of them have extreme harsh ideologies. Magneto and Conquest both believe that their race is supremely superior to humans. They are both very unapologetic about their methods and have that the ends justify the means mentality.